Hi students, in this session we are going to discuss about the proofs for some of the properties of Fourier transform. So in the last class I had given you 12 properties. Out of those 12 I will go for the proof for 6 properties, and the remaining 6 you have to do, that is for your practice. You have to go for the proof of the remaining 6 properties, that is for your work. Okay, so first I will start with the first property, that is a linearity property. So now I will go for the proof of the first property, that is linearity property. The first one, linearity property. So we all know what the linearity property states. So for the linearity property, I have to consider two signals, that is this x1 of t and x2 of t. Okay, here if x1 of t is having a Fourier transform x1 of omega and x2 of t is having a Fourier transform capital X2 of omega, then linearity property states that a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t will have a Fourier transform a into x1 of omega plus b into x2 of omega. So we have to prove this. So they had given x1 of t is having a Fourier transform x1 of omega and x2 of t is having a Fourier transform x2 of omega. Then we have to prove the combined signal a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. The combined signal will have a Fourier transform a into x1 of omega plus b into x2 of omega. So now I will go for the proof of this one. Proof. We all know the formula for a Fourier transform of a signal x of t. Okay, Fourier transform of signal x of t. We all know the formula. So here we all know x of omega is nothing but Fourier transform. Fourier transform. So just f bracket Fourier transform of x of t. Fourier transform of x of t, which is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, so we all know the formula, Fourier transform formula. By using this formula, now I have to prove the linearity property. So here in linearity property, we have to prove a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t will have a Fourier transform a into x1 of omega plus b into x2 of omega. That means I need the Fourier transform of this signal. So here I need the Fourier transform of this signal. That is, so by definition, we can say Fourier transform of this one a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. So you can write like by definition, or simply from the above formula I can get the equation for Fourier transform of a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. See here Fourier transform of x of t is integral minus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. That is, whenever we have to find out the Fourier transform of a signal, that is nothing but integral minus into infinity that signal into e power minus j omega t dt. Here I need the Fourier transform of a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. Simply the formula is integral minus infinity to infinity. So in place of x of t I have the signal is here a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t. So this is our signal. So integral minus into infinity, that signal for which we have to find out the Fourier transform, that signal into value e power minus j omega t dt. Simple. So integral minus into infinity. So the signal for which we have to find out the Fourier transform, that signal into e power minus j omega t dt. Clear? Now if we expand this, I will get the answer. So how will you expand? Simply, first we have to multiply this with this one and we have to separate. I am writing in a single step. That is integral minus infinity to infinity a into x1 of t into multiplying e power minus j omega t dt plus, first I multiply this one and separating, integral minus infinity to infinity b into x2 of t into e power minus j omega t dt. So I multiplied and separated. So I did two functions in a single step, and that will be equal to, so here a is a constant, so I can bring it outside of this one. So if I bring a outside, then I can write a into integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into e power minus j omega t dt, plus here also b is a constant, I can bring the b outside. So b into integral minus infinity to infinity x2 of t e power minus j omega t dt, or minus j omega. So from the definition, we know integral minus infinity to plus infinity, the signal for which we have to find out the Fourier transform into e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, that is simply, this is the formula for Fourier transform of x1 of t, because here integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into e power minus j omega t dt. So I already told you, that is integral minus infinity to the signal for which we are finding the Fourier transform, that is here the signal is x1 of t. So this is the formula for finding the Fourier transform of x1 of t. Fourier transform of x1 of t. Simply here integral minus infinity x2 of t into e power minus j omega t dt common, that is, this is the signal for which we are finding the Fourier transform. So this is the formula for finding the Fourier transform of x2 of t. So I can write like this, that will be equal to a into, so this is nothing but the formula for finding the Fourier transform of x1 of t. Simple, Fourier transform of x1 of t is integral minus infinity signal x1 of t into e power minus j omega t dt plus b into, same, this is the formula for finding the Fourier transform of x2 of t. Fourier transform of x2 of t. Then that will be equal to, see, they had given the Fourier transform of x1 of t as x1 of omega and the Fourier transform of x2 of t as x2 of omega. So from this, they had given Fourier transform of x1 of t is nothing but x1 of omega, and Fourier transform of x2 of t is nothing but x2 of omega. So this is what they had given. Okay, so I am substituting this one. So in place of f of x1 of t, that is Fourier transform of x1 of t, I can substitute x1 of omega, that is a into x1 of omega plus b into Fourier transform of x2 of t will be equal to x2 of omega. Okay, so Fourier transform of a x1 of t plus b x2 of t will be equal to a x1 of omega plus b x2 of omega. Okay, so the final one we can write like this. Therefore we can write like as a x1 of t plus b x2 of t will have a Fourier transform. A into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t will have a Fourier transform. That is, the Fourier transform of a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t is nothing but a into x1 of omega plus b into x2 of omega. Hence proved. Okay, so this is how to prove the linearity property. So I got the a1 into x1 of t plus b into x2 of a into x1 of t plus b into x2 of t will have a Fourier transform a into x1 of omega plus b into x2 of omega. So this is the proof for the first property, that is linearity property. Okay, the next one is a time shifting property. The second one is the time shifting property. The first one, linearity property. I've shown the proof of linearity property. Now I'm moving from the next one, that is the second one, time shifting property. So we have to prove the time shifting property. So for the proof we need the definition. So here first, what the time shifting property states is, if x of t is having Fourier transform x of omega, then x of t minus t naught, time shifting property. That is, the time shifting property states that x of t minus t naught will have a Fourier transform. E power minus j omega t naught into x of omega. We have to prove this. That is, if x of t is having a Fourier transform x of omega, then the time shifting property states that x of t minus t naught will have a Fourier transform e power minus j omega t naught into x of omega. So we have to prove. For this will be the Fourier transform that we have to prove. So we are going for the proof. So by definition, we all know a Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught equal to, from the definition, we all know Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity, and the signal for which we are finding the Fourier transform, that is x of t minus t naught into e power minus j omega t dt. So integral minus to infinity e power minus j omega t dt is common. So here I have to write the signal for which we are finding the Fourier transform. Okay. So now simplify this. So we have to simplify this. For this, I am considering to simplify this. Let us consider this t minus t naught equal to some p. Let us consider t minus t naught equal to p. So from this, t will be equal to p plus t naught. So I am considering t minus t naught equal to p. So here I had taken p. You can take any variable of your wish. So I had taken p. That is t minus t naught equal to p. So t will be equal to p plus t naught. So if you go for the differentiation, dt will be equal to dp, and definition of t naught is a constant. So definition of constant is 0. So there is no need to write the 0 because dp plus 0 is dp. So if you go for the differentiation of this one, we will get dt equal to dp. So I am considering t minus t naught equal to p. From that, t equal to p plus t naught, and dt will be equal to dp, because this is a constant. For this, because the differentiation, that will be give 0. So there is no need to write this one. Now I will substitute these three in the above equation to get the Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught. Now the Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught, Fourier transform x of t minus t naught will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity, x of t minus t naught. We know that t minus t naught equal to p. So simply we can write x of p and e to the power of minus j omega in place of t. So here the t value, if I substitute t minus t naught equal to p, then t will convert to p plus t naught. So if substitute t minus t naught equal to p, then the t value will be converted to p plus t naught into dt. So as I consider t minus t naught equal to p, the dt value will be converted to dp. Okay, that will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of p e power minus j omega p into e power minus j omega t naught, e power minus j omega t naught. That is, I expanded, that is e power minus j omega p plus minus j omega t naught, and again separated, that is e power minus j omega p into e power minus j omega t naught. First I expanded this and then I separated. Okay, so e power minus j omega into p plus t naught can be written as e power minus j omega p into e power minus j omega t naught. Okay, into dp. Now that will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity, x of p. So here e power minus j omega p. We are different with respect to p. So this e power minus j omega t naught will be a constant, and I can bring outside of this integral. That is, if we bring this outside, e power minus j omega t naught. So e power minus j omega t naught into integral minus infinity x of p e power minus j omega p dp. E omega p dp. Okay. See what we got. The Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught will be equal to e power minus j omega t naught into integral minus infinity to infinity, integral minus infinity to plus infinity, x of p e power minus j omega p dp. See, if the p is replaced with a t, what happens? Integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. That is the formula for Fourier transform of x of t. Fourier transform of x of t. So this is the formula for Fourier transform of x of p. Fourier transform of x of p, small x of p. That is nothing but capital X of omega. That is nothing but capital X of omega. See the formula. Same. X of, if replace p with t, x of t into e power minus j omega t dt, simply I get x of omega. So this can be written as capital X of omega, because this is the formula of Fourier transform. The formula of Fourier transform. So I can write as e power minus j omega t naught into x of omega, into x of omega. So finally what I got? Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught will be equal to e power minus j omega t naught into x of omega. So we can write like this: Fourier transform of x of t minus t naught will be equal to e power minus j omega t naught into x of omega. Or you can write like this also, or you can write like this: x of t minus t naught will have a Fourier transform. X of t minus t naught will have a Fourier transform e power minus j omega t naught into capital X of omega. Okay. So finally we can write, therefore x of t minus t naught we have a Fourier transform e power minus j omega t naught into x of omega. Hence proved. So this is how to prove the time shifting property. Okay. Now the next one, that is the third one, that is the frequency shifting property. We all know the frequency shifting property. That is, if x of t is having Fourier transform capital X of omega, then the frequency shifting property states that e power j omega naught t, e power j omega naught t into x of t, into x of t will have the Fourier transform x of omega minus omega naught. That is frequency shifting property. So this is a frequency shifting property. Now we have to go for the proof of this property. Go the proof. So we'll go for the proof. Simply, by definition, we know that Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t into x of t. Definition: e power j omega, Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t into x of t will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity e power j omega naught t into x of t into the signal into e power minus j omega t dt. This is from the definition. So that will be equal to, simple. Here the Fourier transform of x of t is integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into e power minus j omega t dt. In place of x of t, I have e power j omega naught t into x of t. So I replace x of t with e power j omega naught t into x of t. So this can be written as integral minus infinity to infinity. First I am writing x of t, and then I can write these two: e power j omega naught t into e power minus j omega naught t. So I can write e power x into e power minus 5, e power x minus 5. So e power j omega naught t minus j omega t dt. That will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t. So in this I can take j and t as common. J and t as common. That is e to the power of j omega naught minus omega into t dt. But the actual formula I have e power minus j omega t, but here e power plus j. So to make it as minus, I will take minus as common from this one. That is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power, if I take common as minus, take minus as common, that is minus j. What happens? First I write omega minus omega naught. Why? Because minus into plus, that is minus omega. Here is minus omega. Minus into minus plus omega naught. It is plus omega naught. Okay. Minus omega plus omega naught. Okay. Minus omega plus omega naught. Just I have taken minus as common. Into t dt. Okay. See, if you compare this with the standard definition, a Fourier transform of x of t is nothing but integral minus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So in the standard definition, in place of omega I have omega minus omega naught in standard definition. Okay, see, we have a standard definition, that is a Fourier transform of x of t will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. This is nothing but x of omega, because Fourier transform of x of t is nothing but x of omega. Is this one. Now see, integral minus infinity x of t e power minus j. In place of omega I have omega minus omega naught, and then t dt same. That is, here the omega is replaced with the omega minus omega naught. That is, the answer for this one is x of omega. So in this equation the omega is replaced with the omega minus omega naught. So answer for this one will be equal to x of omega minus omega naught. Simple. See, this is the formula for x of omega. Okay, so in this, if I replace omega with omega minus omega naught, then this will also becomes x of omega minus omega naught. So here see, integral minus infinity x of t e power minus j into omega minus omega, that is, in place of omega I have omega minus omega naught into t dt same. So here the x of omega will become as x of omega minus omega naught. Simple logic. So whatever there in this place of omega, I will get that inside the brackets of this x of that value. So here the value is omega minus omega naught. So I got x of omega minus omega naught. So finally I can conclude. Therefore e power j omega naught t into x of t will have a Fourier transform. X of omega minus omega naught. Why? Because, so this is nothing but the Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t into x of t. So I can represent either in this way or I can represent in this way. Okay, so this is how to prove the frequency shifting property. So this is a proof for frequency shifting property. Clear? Now next we will go on to the next property. There is a fourth one. The fourth one is a time reversal property. Time reversal property. So what the time reversal property states that if x of t is having Fourier transform, capital X of omega, then a time reversal property time reversal property states that x of minus t will have a Fourier transform capital X of minus omega. This is capital X. Okay. Capital X of minus omega. Clear? Now we have to go for the proof. Now we go for proof. Okay. So by definition, we know that Fourier transform of x of minus t, Fourier transform of x of minus t will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity, integral minus infinity to infinity, x of minus t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, so this is from the definition of the Fourier transform. Now, in this equation, replacing t with minus t in the RHS of the above equation. In the RHS of the above equation, f of x of minus t. Okay, so in the above equation I am replacing t with minus t in the RHS. I am replacing t with minus t in the RHS of the above equation, that is f of x of minus t. Then we have what is this value of f of x of minus t? F of x of minus t will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity. So replace t with minus t, minus of minus t plus t, that is x of t into e power, replace t with minus t, minus of minus plus e power j omega t dt, e power j omega t dt. That will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power. So here I am applying some minus to omega to get minus before j, because see that standard definition, f of the Fourier transform of x of t is minus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt, e power minus j. Here we have plus, for that reason I am writing minus j. So actually this j omega t, I have written minus, so I have to write another minus, that is here I am writing minus omega into t dt. See, minus into minus plus, that is j omega t, both are same. So as I need minus in front of this j, so I have taken minus. For that I am writing minus again at omega. So both are same. See, now we compare this with this standard formula. Integral minus infinity, integral minus infinity, x of t, e power minus j, e power minus j. In place of omega I have minus omega, and then t dt dt, both are same. So for this the value is x of omega, and here in this equation if I replace omega with minus omega, the answer will be x of minus omega, same thing. So the same equation, in place of omega I have minus omega, so the answer is that will be equal to x of minus omega, that will be equal to x of minus omega. Okay, the Fourier transform of x of minus t is nothing but x of minus omega. So therefore we can conclude x of minus t will have a Fourier transform, x of minus t will have a Fourier transform x of minus omega, hence approved. This is the proof for time reversal of property. Okay, next one, that is the fifth one. The fifth property is a time scaling property. The one is time scaling property. Okay, so in time scaling property, if x of t is having Fourier transform capital X of omega, then time scaling property states that x of small a into t, a is a constant, will have a Fourier transform 1 by mod A into capital X of omega by A. Okay, this is what we have to prove. So we will go for the proof. That is, we have to prove x of at will have a Fourier transform 1 by mod A into x of omega by A. So by definition, Fourier transform of x of at will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of at into e power minus j omega t dt. Now here let's consider a into t equal to either p or q, what it may be. So I am taking as p as a wish. A into t equal to p. So from this, what is the value of t? T equal to p by a. T equal to p by a. Now what is the value of dt? Dt will be equal to dp is a constant. So I have to write 1 by a into dp or dp by a, simply because a is a constant. So dt equal to 1 by a into dp, or simply dt equal to dp by a. So now I will use all this in our standard definition. That is, from that one you can write f of x of at will be equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of at. I am considering at as p. So x of p e power minus j omega. In place of t I can write p by a. So because as at equal to p, t will be equal to p by a. So here I have to write p by a. In place of dt, I have to write a dp by a, as I am using at equal to p. So the dt will be changed by dp by a. So that will be equal to c. And this a is a constant. So bring that outside of this one. So simply that is 1 by a integral minus infinity to infinity x of p e power minus j. I am writing a for the denominator of omega. So writing a like this, minus j into omega by a into p dp. Here already the a I write a start out of the integral because this is a constant. So outside the integral, that is 1 by a integral minus infinity x of p e power minus j into omega by a into p into dp. Simply, so this will be the formula for this one, integral minus infinity x of p e power minus j into omega by a into p dp will be the formula for x of omega by a. Okay, if I replace p with t, then what happens? X of t into e power minus j into omega by a into t dt. So in place of omega I had omega by a. So x of omega, capital X of omega will become as capital X of omega by a. Simple. Okay, but here we have two cases. We have two cases for this one. See, two cases. Case 1. First case is when the a value is greater than 0, that is a value is positive. A value is positive, that is greater than 0, positive. Then f of x of at will be equal to, so a is positive, so 1 by a integral minus infinity to infinity x of p e power minus j omega by a, positive same, into p dp. So that will be equal to 1 by a into c. So this is the, if I replace p with t, x of t into e power minus j omega by a into t dt, then that is the formula for simply x of omega by a, because from the standard definition of the formula, in place of omega I have omega by a. So capital X of omega will become as capital X of omega by a. So this formula I can write as capital X of omega by a. Okay, this is for a greater than 0, case 1. Now I go for the case 2, second case, that is a less than 0. That a is negative value, a is less than 0, that is negative value. Then f of x of at will be equal to 1 by a is negative less than 0, that is we have to write 1 by minus a integral minus infinity to infinity x of p e power minus j into omega by minus a, because a is less than 0, that is negative, minus a into p dp. So that will be equal to, see here there is nothing but minus 1 by a, and for this the formula will be, because here omega by a I have written as x of omega by a, here omega by minus a I have to written as x of minus omega by a. So that is x of minus omega by a, x of minus omega by a. So if you bring minus outside, then what will happen? Plus, that will be equal to 1 by mod a into x of omega by a, 1 by mod a into x of omega by a. So therefore finally we can say like this, therefore Fourier transform of x of at, well considering two cases I can say that will be equal to, so here is already 1 by a, here is, even though it is negative we are getting a positive, hence I am writing as 1 by mod a x of omega by a, or simply you can write like this, that is x of at will have a Fourier transform, x of at will have a Fourier transform 1 by mod a into x of omega by a. Okay, hence proved. So this is the proof for time scaling property. So up to now I gone for the proofs of 5 properties. That is, the first one a linearity property, next one a time shifting property, next frequency shifting property, next time reversal property, next time scaling property. After that we have a differentiation in time domain property, a differentiation in a frequency domain property, integration property, multiplication property, conversion property, so many. So now I will explain you how to prove the differentiation in frequency domain property. Why? Because differentiation in time domain property is easy, so you can go to that one, and you can go for the integration, multiplication, convolution, you can go for all those. So the last one I will go for differentiation in frequency domain property. So the last one which I prove here is differentiation in frequency domain property. So then I will go for the 6 properties, and the remaining 6 you have to prove at your home, that is for your practice. Now I am moving for the differentiation in a frequency domain property proof. Now we will see the proof for differentiation in frequency domain property. Okay, before this we have the differentiation in time domain property also, so I left it for your work, it's an easy one. For that I am going for differentiation in frequency domain. So this is a little bit difficult when compared with the differentiation in time domain. So I am going for the proof of this one. So we know that differentiation in frequency domain property, that is, if x of t is having Fourier transform as x of omega, then the differentiation in frequency domain property states that t into x of t will have a Fourier transform j into d by d omega of x of omega, d by d omega of x of omega. So we have to prove this one, okay. We have to prove t into x of t will have a Fourier transform j into d by d omega of d by d omega of x of omega. We have to prove this. For this, from the definition, we know x of omega. The definition, we know x of omega, the formula x of omega equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt, minus j omega t dt. Now I am going for a differentiation on both sides. Now differentiation on both sides with respect to omega. With respect to, now I'm going for the differentiating on both sides, differentiating on both sides with respect to omega. We will have, what will you get? D by d omega of x of omega equal to t by d omega of integral minus infinity to infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, that will be equal to, see, actually interchanging the order of differentiation and integration. So here I am writing integration first, integral minus infinity to infinity. Okay, next x of t, that is I am bringing the differentiation inside the integration, that is d by d omega of e power minus j omega t dt, that will be equal to c. I am differentiating with respect to omega. I am differentiating with respect to omega. So here the term is e power minus j omega t. I am differentiating e power minus j omega t with respect to omega. So what will get? E power minus j omega t into minus jt into minus, because I am differentiating with respect to omega. So here I am differentiating with respect to omega, then I have to write the remaining two, that is jt, that is minus jt. So e power 2x, differentiation is e power 2x into 2. So here I am differentiating with respect to omega. So e power minus j omega t into this minus jt. So simply I can write like this. I have to write like this: integral minus infinity to infinity x of t. So if you go for the differentiation of this one, I will get e power minus j omega t into nothing much minus jt. So you can write like this: minus jt into e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, now see, d by d omega of x of omega will be equal to d by d omega of x of omega will be equal to, see, I am taking a minus j outside, so minus j integral minus infinity to plus infinity, So here I have left, I am writing t before x of t, that is t into x of t into t, that is I have written as t into x of t into e power minus j omega t dt. Okay, see, consider this as a separate one. Now this will be equal to minus j. We have the formula integral minus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt is the formula of Fourier transform of x of t. So in place of x of t I have t into x of t. So this is the formula for Fourier transform of t into x of t. So I can simply write minus j into Fourier transform of t into x of t, because if it is x of t, then integral minus infinity x of t e power minus j omega t dt is a formula for Fourier transform of x of t. So in place of x of t I have t into x of t, remaining all same, integral minus infinity t into x of t e power minus j omega t dt. So this will be the formula for Fourier transform of t into x of t. So I replace this with Fourier transform of t into x of t. Now I need this one because I have to find out the Fourier transform of t into x of t. So therefore Fourier transform of t into x of t, Fourier transform of t into x of t will be equal to, so this one, that is d by d omega of x of omega, d by d omega of x of omega, and this one, okay, actually here I try like this, d by d omega of x of omega will be equal to this one. So I need this one, this comes this side like 1 by minus j, 1 by minus j, come this side, 1 by minus j, clear, 1 by minus j. Actually 1 by j is minus j, minus gets cancelled, that will become as j. So therefore this will be equal to 1 by j is minus j. Okay, minus and we have j into d by d omega of x of omega. D by d omega of x of omega. Okay, so finally we got Fourier transform of t into x of t as j into d by d omega of x of omega. Okay, so that's what we have to prove. Or simply we can represent this in another way as t into x of t will have a Fourier transform. T into x of t will have a Fourier transform j into d by d omega of x of omega. X of omega. Clear? Hence proved. So this is the proof for differentiation in frequency domain properties. So here I explained you the proofs for six properties. That is linearity property, time shifting property, frequency shifting property, time reversal property, time scaling property, and differentiation in frequency domain properties. So for these six I have shown you the proofs. Now I am giving other six properties for your work. So you have to prove the remaining six properties. That is differentiation in time domain property, integration property, convolution property, multiplication property, duality property, conjugation property. So these six properties you have to prove. That is for your practice. So do that at your home. Okay. With this I completed the properties of Fourier series. So I had given 12 properties. In that I had gone for the proof of 6 properties and I had given you the work, the remaining 6 properties. Okay. Now we will go for the Fourier transform of a periodic signal. The next topic is Fourier transform of a periodic signal. Now the topic is Fourier transform of a periodic signal. Fourier transform of a periodic signal. We all know for periodic signals we will use Fourier series. For periodic signals we will use Fourier series, and mostly we will use Fourier transform for non-periodic signals, that is aperiodic signals. But this Fourier transform can also be applicable for periodic signals. That is, this Fourier transform is applicable for both non-periodic and periodic signals. Hence it is an universal tool because it is used for both non-periodic or aperiodic and periodic signals. Now we will see the Fourier transform of a periodic signal. For that I have to consider a periodic signal x of t with period capital T. So for getting the Fourier transform of a periodic signal, I am considering a periodic signal x of t. Periodic signal x of t with period capital T. Now I can represent this periodic signal as sum of complex exponentials, or simply this x of t can be written in terms of exponential Fourier series. So if you write this x of t in terms of exponential Fourier series as x of t will be equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn e power j n omega naught t, e power j n omega naught t. This is the exponential Fourier series representation of an periodic signal x of t. That is, I had represented the periodic signal x of t in exponential Fourier series. That is nothing but sum of complex exponentials. We all know that. And we know that Fourier transform is nothing but represented with x of omega, the Fourier transform. Here Fourier transform represented with x of omega, or Fourier transform of x of t, Fourier transform x of omega, which is nothing but Fourier transform of x of t. Here the x of t is the periodic signal, and I represented the periodic signal in terms of exponential Fourier series. So I can write as this x of omega will be equal to Fourier transform of Fourier transform of, in place of x of t, I can substitute summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn e power j n omega naught t. Okay, so see here Cn is a constant. I can bring that as outside because Cn is the Fourier coefficients with respect to x of t. Fourier coefficients of x of t. So if I bring them outside, that is, I can write like this: summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn a Fourier transform of e power j n omega naught t. So this is a constant, no need for this one. Now I need the value of this one. What is the Fourier transform of e power j n omega naught t? We need this one. So I will calculate this by using the frequency shifting property. So I can find out the value of this one by using the frequency shifting property. So what is frequency shifting property? Frequency shifting property. What is that one? So you all know the frequency shifting property. It is e power j omega naught t into x of t. We'll have a Fourier transform as capital X of omega minus omega naught, or simply Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t into x of t. X of t is equal to capital X of omega minus omega naught. Capital X of omega minus omega naught. Now using this frequency shifting theorem, I will calculate the value of this one. So using this one, that is using frequency shifting property, I can write this as, it is nothing but this one will be equal to this one. Value of this one, Fourier transform of e power j and omega naught t. So here e power j omega naught, so there is some n, e power j omega naught into x of t. So in place of x of t I am writing as 1, because anything into 1 is at one value. 9 into 1 9. So e power j and omega naught t into 1 is e power j omega naught. So there is some e power something into x of t, e power something into, in place of x of t I had written as 1. So for this the formula is x of omega minus omega naught. That is, here for x of t the Fourier transform is x of omega, and in place of omega we have omega minus omega naught. Omega minus omega naught. Okay. So here in place of x I have 1. So I have to go for the Fourier transform of 1. So this is nothing but the Fourier transform of x of t, and at that place omega will be equal to omega minus omega naught. Fourier transform of x of t, which is nothing but x of omega, where omega is nothing but omega minus omega naught. So here they had written as Fourier transform of x of t at omega equal to omega minus omega naught. In the same way, I can write Fourier transform of 1 at omega equal to, so here we have omega naught, hence they are written as omega equal to omega minus omega naught, but here we have n omega naught, so we have to write omega equal to omega minus n omega naught. Omega equal to omega minus n omega naught. So see, observe this formula. Fourier transform e power j omega naught t into x of t equal to x of omega minus omega naught. That is, here what I did, for x of t the Fourier transform is x of omega. Okay, Fourier transform is x of omega. That is Fourier transform of x of t at omega equal to omega minus omega naught. So Fourier transform x of t is x of omega. In place of omega they have substituted omega minus omega naught. In the same way, here we have 1. So for 1 I had taken the Fourier transform. Fourier transform of 1 at omega equal to, here we have only omega naught, hence they had written as omega minus omega naught, but here we have n omega naught, so I had to write omega equal to omega minus n omega naught. So now tell me, what is the Fourier transform of 1? We all know that the Fourier transform of a constant amplitude 1 is 2 pi into del of omega, but in place of omega what should I substitute? omega minus omega naught. So what you write? 2 pi del of, in place of omega I would write omega minus n omega naught. 2 pi del of omega, 2 pi del of omega minus n omega naught. So this is the value of Fourier transform of e power j n omega naught t. Clear? So now see the Fourier. Therefore x of omega, the Fourier transform x of omega will be equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn. The Fourier transform of e power j n omega naught t will be equal to 2 pi del of omega minus n omega naught. So 2 pi is a constant. You can bring that outside. So that will be equal to, final answer is 2 pi into summation of n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn del of omega minus n omega naught. So this is the Fourier transform of a periodic signal, okay, where Cn is the Fourier coefficients according to the signal x of t. So this is nothing but Fourier coefficients with respect to the signal x of t, Fourier coefficients, and we all know the value of that Cn also. So where the value of that Cn, you know, the Cn will be equal to 1 by t integral minus t by 2 to t by 2 x of t into e power minus j and omega naught t dt. Cn equal to 1 by t integral minus t by t2 plus t by 2, or you can write 0 to t or t0 to t0 plus t, what it may be. So here I have taken minus t by 2 plus t by 2. So Cn equal to 1 by t integral minus t by 2 plus t by 2 x of t e power minus j and omega naught t dt. So by this I can find out the value of Cn, and from that I can find out the value of x of omega. So x of omega is the Fourier transform, the Fourier transform of the period signal x of t. So in this way I can find out the Fourier transform of a periodic signal. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform of a periodic signal equation. So x of omega equal to 2 pi. So finally the answer will be, finally here x of omega is equal to 2 pi summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity Cn del of omega minus n omega naught. So this is the Fourier transform representation of a periodic signal. Fourier transform of a periodic signal. In this Cn is nothing but the Fourier coefficients with respect to the x of t, and the value of that Cn, is equal to 1 by t integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 x of t e power minus j and omega naught t dt. Okay, with this we finish the topic of Fourier transform of a periodic signal. Okay, this is the explanation for Fourier transform of a periodic signal. I hope you are clear with this Fourier transform of a periodic signal. So in this class I explained you about the proof for some of the properties of Fourier transform, and then Fourier transform of a periodic signal. With this I am finishing today's class. Thank you one and all.